Trustees meeting. Clerk Konecki, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Silella?
Here.
Trustee Corkery?
Here.
Trustee Kozar?
Here.
Trustee Kumar?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Petrick?
Here.
President Kazone?
Here. And please rise in Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for a few moments. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this evening. May we have meaningful discussions that will help us to assist our village in these trying times. Help us to share our meaningful discussions that will affect the staff, directors, and the residents of Willow Park. Guide us through the challenges we face, and may we approach each other with respect and kindness as one group. In your name, amen. Amen. Move on to item number 3, public comments on agenda items. Clerk Konecki, anyone signed up?
Yes, I have, first person is Sis Greco regarding item 7A.
Good evening, Manager Keener, Mr. President, trustees, past boards of trustees, all the village officers and different departments, our community and neighboring communities. Philip and myself, as the Greco family, would like to thank you all for your support throughout these years and your guidance as a business. We're very blessed as a family, and prior to the meeting starting, I just wanted to say thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Al Bolfus regarding 7A.
Good evening. I got to confess with you tonight, have mixed feelings and somewhat depressed on item 7A about the transfer of ownership of the Odium property. I'm sure that most of you, a number of you, don't remember when the Odium first came into town, but I'd make you a little bit of aware of how important they were to Willow Park. Whenever there was an event or something that needed some help or space, the Odium was always there to accommodate us, not just the village itself, but the Rotary Club also. They were very involved with that, so they will be sorely missed. But in talking in favor of the item 7A, considering the piece of property there and the limitations and the restrictions on it, there's really no other option for that piece of property. I think it would fit in there real well in that area. If it wasn't for the Odium, like I said, I don't know what you'd put there, because it's basically sort of like in a floodplain, and the building itself sits above the flood areas. So I think it's a viable opportunity for Willow Park and for that piece of property, and it's about the best usage I could see for that piece of property. Again, I personally would like to thank the Greco family for everything they've done for the village, and I'm sure we'll see them around, and I just wish them the best. So thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
No one else.
No one else? Okay. Do we have any other comments on agenda items? Okay. Move on to item number 4, amendments to the agenda. Do we have any amendments anyone would like? Okay, seeing none, we will move to item 5, the consent agenda. Item 5A, minutes from the public meeting and board meeting held on December 6th, 2021, and bill listings for the week of December 6th in the total amount of $284,522.99. Do we have a motion on this? Trustee Patrick.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
We have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Corkery. Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Corkery?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
President Kazone?
Yes. Item 6A, the second and final reading of an ordinance levying taxes for the fiscal year of the Village of Willow Park, Dupage County, Illinois, commencing on the first day of January 2021 and ending on the 31st day of December 2021. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The 2021 tax levy process is well underway. The Library Board approved their levy on September 22nd. The Village Board adopted a resolution estimating the tax levy on November 8th, and several abatement ordinances were approved on December 6th. The total levy for the village and library is $12,632,074 and has been abated to $11,640,924, which is a 5% increase over last year. The final amount will likely be reduced by Dupage County due to property tax caps. A majority of the levy is subject to a 1.4% tax cap plus new growth. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And do we have a motion on this? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kumar?
I will make the second motion.
Okay. And as this is the second reading, we did discuss this at our last meeting, but does anyone else have any other additional questions or comments? Okay. Clerk Kornecki, roll call, please.
Okay, Trustee Corkery,
Yes.
Trustee Salella,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Kumar,
Yes.
President Kazal.
Yes. Item 6B, second and final reading of an ordinance adopting a budget for the Village of Willow Park, Dupage County, Illinois, for all corporate purposes in lieu of an annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2022 and ending on December 31st, 2022. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village's fiscal year 2022 budget ordinance allocates funds for the continued provision of village services as well as significant capital investment as discussed during the village's budget presentation held at the November 22nd Village Board meeting and the public hearing held on December 6th. The budget draft has been available for public inspection at Village Hall and on the village's website. The budget covers a 12-month period from January 1st through December 31st, 2022. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We have a motion on this? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Corkery? Okay, again, we did discuss this at our last meeting, but,
Yeah,
Trustee Kumar.
I did bring up some points at the last meeting that seem to have been addressed to a certain extent. I do want to, though, revisit, I think the jump in budget for streetlight materials have gone up from 5,000 to 30,000, which is a very large increase. I would not want to increase our budget that much. So in my mind, 10,000 is a sufficient amount to do streetlights, you know, every so often. I know it's every 3 years. It was favorable, but that's what I'd like to say.
Okay, good. I think Director Guerrero would like to address that.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. In speaking with the manager to get a few streetlights, looking at historical cost, that's usually in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000 per streetlight. So therefore, we bumped it up to 30,000, so at least we can get about 3 streetlights in, if
Okay.
not 4.
And these are for the streetlights or the decorations?
This would be for streetlights.
This is streetlights. This is not Christmas
Okay,
decorations.
okay, that's what I was worried about.
Okay, no,
That's
this
ridiculous.
is the streetlights.
Okay,
Correct.
that's fine, thank you.
That was the reason of such a large increase.
Okay,
Okay,
good. Thank you.
Then, no problem, no
Okay.
issues.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Salella,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Kumar,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
Trustee Corkery,
Yes.
President Kazal.
Yes. Item 6C, second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Willow Park, Dupage County, Illinois, amending certain provisions of Appendix C, Article 2, Sections 2.3 and 2.6, including the new 2.6.5 Basic Zoning Ordinance of the Willow Park Municipal Code. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The proposed text amendments to Article 2, Sections 2.3 and 2.6, including new item is 2.6.5 of Appendix C of the Village Code. These proposed revisions represent amendments to an article versus the entire zoning code and are proposed to better clarify code requirements and to address best practices and/or current development trends. The Community Development Department and village staff performed a review of these codes and researched the best practices and are recommending the modifications proposed herein. At the November 11th, 2021 public hearing, the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the proposed text amendments. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for this?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Murphy, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Corkery? Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Silella.
Yes.
Trustee Corkery.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes,
President Kazal.
Yes. Move on to item 7A, an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, Dupage County, Illinois, approving the rezoning to the M1 Light Industrial District of the property located at 1033 North Villa Avenue. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The applicant is currently under contract to purchase the subject property and is requesting rezoning of the subject property from PUDC, Planned Unit Development Commercial, to M1 Light Industrial District. The applicant intends to lease the subject property to Aero Transcorp, also known as Aero, which is a related entity who intends to use the property for trucking, warehousing, and distribution. Aero is currently located in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, and anticipates the hours of operation to be from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Should the rezoning be approved, Aero will relocate its current facility to the subject property, which expects to create 30 full-time jobs. The applicant intends to improve the parking lot to accommodate truck parking and reconfigure the building to meet Aero's operations. It is expected that approximately 10% of the current facility will be utilized as office space, and the remainder will be utilized for warehousing and distribution. The petitioner submitted the attached traffic study, including exhibits of potential future improvements. Staff recommends approval of the map amendment. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You have a motion on this?
Make a motion.
Trustee Silella? Trustee Kozar? Second? Okay. Any questions or comments? Trustee Corkery?
So, in our packets, there's a letter from the Forest Preserve District here, where they indicate they have a lot of concerns with the project. And they're asking to be able to review different parts of the plan as it goes forward. Is that going to happen? Is that legally enforceable? Or is that just something that they're asking for with this letter?
At the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, that was brought up, that letter that was read into the record, and I believe the petitioner agreed to allow that to happen. You know, whatever happened, the plans, we'll give it to them. I think, you know, the plat of survey is going to be done so that they know exactly where the boundaries are, and, yeah, that those will be addressed.
And the lighting and the asphalt?
Correct.
And all that.
Correct.
And then I do see that one of the P and Z commissioners did vote against it. Did they indicate why at the meeting?
I think they were kind of torn because they would rather see a use on the property that would generate some type of sales tax revenue for the village. However, you know, the place has been set for sale for a few years, and this is really the first best offer that they've had. So I think it was more, you know, the village would like to see something else in there, but since this is the only offer that's come along right now, that's why they voted for it. I think that's why he voted against it. Trustee Silella.
Yeah, thank you. First off, I'm going to state that I'm in favor of the zoning change. That's not my concern. There was an email sent out by one of our residents concerning fuel cells, if there was going to be fuel on site for the trucking. Being it is a floodplain, I know there's ways around it above ground with spill containment and whatnot, but the question was asked if a fuel distribution system would be on that property with concerns of being so close to Salt Creek. So I don't know if I can get that answered.
Sure. If we get, yeah, we'll have the petitioner come on up. Hi, please state your name.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Patrick Clancy. I am an attorney for the petitioner, APK Holdings. Trustee Silella, thank you for that question. There was a little bit of, I do need to apologize to staff. There was a little miscommunication on the, I think there's some phone conversations between the owner of APK, the petitioner, and staff. There will be there's no intention to have fuel at all at the property. Candidly, they have the operating company, Aerotrans, has contracts with various national gas stations, Pilot, Flying J, that sort of thing, that they must meet certain minimum requirements to purchase at those facilities to get their rebates and discounts. It doesn't make sense to have a fuel supply there. So I apologize about the miscommunication. There is no intention to clear that up to have any fuel supply.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'd say one more question. I don't know if he's the gentleman for the answer. At P&Z, there was some mention that possibly in the future there would be a truck repair center there. What percentage of likelihood is that to happen? In regards to the close proximity of residential on the west side of Willow there.
And yeah, I appreciate that question. Right, we are, the petitioner's goal is to, it's a little bit up in the air, and I'm not trying to evade your question. We have this process has been very quickly moving, and we are trying to determine the best use for the site. I mean, I think in our P&Z meeting on Thursday, as well as in the packet that you guys have, there was reference to new site plans or potentially redeveloping redevelop the property, or making use of the current property to the petitioner's anticipated use. Right now, that's open, but I can't say whatever use the property will have will be within zoning map requirements, as well as making sure that any village concerns, requirements are also met.
Thank you.
Trustee Kozar.
Excuse me, I was at P&Z the other day, and there was good discussion and debate about it. I'm in favor of the rezoning, but my question is more of a procedural question. Is this a first reading, or is this just a one?
This will be we'll vote on it tonight, and the reason being that it was already at P&Z where there was public comment available. So typically the reason for the two readings is they have public comment at both of them. So the public comment was at the planning and zoning. So if, the public wanted to comment there, so now it comes to us, and we can have any other additional public comment, and we can vote on it today.
Because in the past, and I just want to clarify this so we know moving forward, so there's kind of continuity of what we're doing up here. In the past, I've been told that something couldn't come back to the board until the committee, in this case P&Z, approved the minutes. And in this case, P&Z voted Thursday. It wasn't recorded, and we don't have a transcript of it, which is in part why Trustee Corkery had the question of, who voted against it. I've taken a couple calls today with people asking about this project, and I can't direct them to the transcript or something to say, watch the debate. So what is the policy of the board? Is it not, was I misinformed before that it has to be approved by, the minutes have to be approved by P&Z and then it comes back up here, or is it just kind of an ad hoc basis depending on the urgency, or who decides what?
Is it? I would think that, does it have to be done, or minutes have to be read first?
Minutes don't have to be read, but the recommendation comes to you and you place it. Recommendation comes from P&Z, and it's placed, the manager then will place it on the agenda. So what your past practice was, I'm not aware of, so I couldn't speak to that.
So anything in P&Z can just go right to the next board meeting, is what you're saying?
It could, or usually it's up to you, and part of it is the urgency of a matter. Not going to say that that's impossible.
Okay.
There's no requirement of the minutes have to be passed.
Yeah, and the manager and I were just discussing, he said, in the past, sometimes it'll wait, and sometimes, we'll do it right away, depending on, like the attorney said, the urgency of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes, I would just like to echo both sides' input that I am in favor of the rezoning. It's my understanding the property has been on the market for a while. There are some challenges that some of the residential developers don't appear to want to take on. So I have had some input as well regarding trucking at that facility, but I do believe, based on all of the research and input from planning and zoning, that it's in the best interest of both the seller, the buyer, and the village as we don't want for any circumstance that property to end up vacant. So I am in favor of the rezoning as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got one question. You mentioned about that the company has contracts with major petroleum companies. Are any of those located in Willow Park? Where Willow Park may get some of that tax revenue, motor fuel tax, sales tax kind of thing?
I'm not sure. They're not, their two big ones are Pilot and Flying J, to be
Okay.
very candid. Those are not, it's not exclusive.
Yeah.
So we anticipate that they're going to be buying a lot of fuel in Villa Park, and we want them to buy
Yeah,
fuel
right, yeah, definitely.
and help the village and
Sure.
that sort of thing. But the point of why when they're not in Villa Park and they're on,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Pilot and Flying J are located in a lot of places along highway and interstate roads. That's where they go.
Okay.
Compared to other, fuel stops along the way.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Corkery?
What kind of things does Arrow warehouse? Just goods in general, or do they
Dry
specialize?
goods.
Okay, seeing no further questions, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Corkery,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Stalella,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
president Kazan.
Yes, and so that passes. Thank you. It'll be good to have you guys in town. We'll miss the Grecos. They've done a lot for the town over the years. Thank you very much. That's good. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Okay, we move to item 8A, resolutions. Resolution of the Village of Villa Park, Dupage County, Illinois, approving an engineering services agreement with V3 Companies Limited of Woodridge, Illinois, for Phase 2 design engineering of the Jackson Pond Improvement Project in an amount not to exceed $353,200. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Jackson Pond Improvement Project is proposed in the Village of Villa Park's Capital Improvement Plan. The project's objective is to expand the Jackson Pond Stormwater Detention Basin to lessen the frequency and severity of area flooding. These improvements are a portion of a larger project identified in the V3 Sugar Creek Basin Flood Control Study. The project's engineering design is budgeted for calendar year 2022, and staff would like to proceed with the design efforts. Staff recommends approval of an engineering services agreement with V3 Companies Ltd. of Woodridge, Illinois, for Phase 2 design engineering of the Jackson Pond Improvement Project in an amount not to exceed $353,200. Funding for this agreement will be from the Stormwater Fund 68-502-10-292. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion? Trustee Patrick.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, second?
second.
Trustee Salella? Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Stalella,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Corkery,
Yes.
president Kazan.
Yes. Item 8B, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a lease agreement between the Village of Villa Park and DuPage High School District 88 for tennis court usage. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The tennis courts adjacent to High Ridge Road were closed for a number of years, and the lease agreement for tennis court usage between the village and School District 88 expired in August of 2015. Representatives from District 88 contacted village staff about proposed improvements to the tennis facilities and entering into a new lease agreement similar to the previous lease agreement. The new lease agreement provides that the village and District 88 equally share in the cost of the refurbishment of all existing outdoor lighting. Total cost is $110,521. After refurbishment, the maintenance of the outdoor lighting and the auxiliary building shall be the sole responsibility of the village, which is similar to previous agreements. The new agreement will give the village exclusive use and control the tennis facilities between the hours of 6:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. weekdays and 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. In return, the village agrees to maintain the outdoor lighting in the auxiliary building. The lease shall go into effect May 1st, 2022 and terminate on April 30th, 2032. Staff recommends approval of this resolution. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on this? Trustee Kumar?
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Corkery? Any questions or comments? Trustee Solella?
I need some clarification on the tennis courts. Does that include the parking to the east of the tennis courts? Is that part and parcel of what we control?
Educator?
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, we'll be responsible, the village will be responsible if this is approved, for the maintenance of the lighting structures, utility charges in the auxiliary building, which feeds electricity to the lighting, the maintenance of the tennis courts, nets, parking, et cetera. That's School District 88's responsibility, or in the lease agreement, the leasor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Trustee Kumar?
I'd just like to say I'm very happy to say that we're coming to a new contract with District 88, and that we are getting this back on the road, and a good relationship is forming again with District 88 at this point through such processes. That's it.
Yeah, thank you.
And I am in favor of this.
Okay. Trustee Murphy?
Yes, I'm just noticing that there don't appear to be any daytime hours on the weekdays. So I was wondering if we could get input from staff on how they feel about this, and particularly the days and hours for usage.
Okay. Director Gola?
Well, good evening. Daytime hours during the school year, we want to be able to have access. And on the weekends, we'll have all the access we need, and we'll usually do some evening tennis programs as well during the week. So we're okay with it.
Okay, if you're okay with it and you think that it's a fair negotiation based on the fact that we're taking on a lot of this maintenance responsibility, you know, if you're good with it.
It's similar to what we did in the past.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kozar?
Yes.
Trustee Solella?
Yes.
Trustee Corkery?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
President Katsal.
Yes. Move on to item 9, public comments on non-agenda items. Do we have any signed up?
No.
Anyone in the audience for non-agenda items? Okay, we'll move to the village clerk's report.
I have no report.
No report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Village trustees report. Today, we will start on my right. Trustee Kozar.
Nothing, other than Christmas is coming, and if I don't see anybody, have a good holiday.
Trustee Patrick.
Thank you. Just to piggyback off that, yes, everybody have a happy holiday out there. Be safe. And again, thank you to all of our first responders out there keeping us safe at home. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Solella.
Also, happy holidays. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kumar.
I'd like to say I'm very proud of our Villa Park residents for putting up such beautiful lights. I've been enjoying all of them. Villa Park is lit up, and I'm happy to see it lit up and have a happy holiday.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy holidays.
Trustee Murphy.
Okay, I've got a few shout outs, some thank yous, particularly to Director Burke and Officer Bregman for the awesome input at our SALT meeting with our seniors. Director Burke was kind enough to take the time to introduce them to the proposed Wildwood development, which I think is really important based on the number of people in attendance. Those SALT meetings and those senior meetings are highly attended with potentially 50 to 60 of our seniors there, and those are the people that it's very important to get input from, and that was an awesome venue to be able to do that. I hope we can continue to get their input at those venues so that we ensure that we get a widespread amount of input from different demographics of our community. So thank you to them, and Officer Bregman is awesome with our seniors. So we certainly appreciate that, and the seniors do as well. Shout out to Janet at Parks and Recs for the birthday bunch and lunch. She does an amazing job coordinating the food endeavors for those large groups of people and the buses that she takes them on, and she just seems to really like what she does and is really, really good at it. The seniors appreciate it, and we appreciate it as well. I believe we have a Parks and Rec meeting tomorrow, Director Gola, 7 o'clock at Iowa Community Center. And as always, everyone is welcome. Have a safe, happy, and healthy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Village President's Report. Just got a couple things. Yeah, definitely happy holidays, everyone. Hopefully it's a safe and healthy one. Just wanted to remind everybody, COVID numbers are creeping up a little bit, so, you know, I know it's kind of tough, but maintain social distancing, keep wearing masks. Hopefully we're almost at the end of it, but the biggest thing is get vaccinated. That seems to be helping, and I think Dupage County is pretty good as far as numbers for vaccinations, but we need to get those as high as we can. But definitely have a great, happy holiday season. Because we had to move our meetings around, our next board meeting will be January 10th, 2022. So it'll be 4 weeks from tonight will be our next board meeting. And due to the first Saturday being New Year's Day, we will not have coffee with the board in January, but we will return in February. And with that, we'll go to the manager.
Thank you, Your Honor. I got several items this evening, and my first item, I'd like Director Gola to come forward and mention the public input meetings for receiving public input comment for the new community center and the $10 million IDNR grant.
Thank you, Manager Keener. This is similar to the input meetings we had for the Lufkin Park project over at the Community Recreation Building. It was well attended. As a matter of fact, a lot of the trustees commented on the comments and the plan that we put in place. So we'd like to do the same for the Recreation Center. And time is of the essence. So Williams has scheduled input meetings here at the Village Boardroom 2 Wednesdays, December 29th and January 19th, 7 p.m. and one Saturday, which would be January 15th at 9 a.m. And they're still working on trying to do have Zoom available as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Your Honor, received an email today from Dave Bennett discussing suggestions to residents for the holiday season for COVID mitigation, and these suggestions were discussed with Mayor Lightfoot. The COVID vaccines are by far the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones from the virus, and anyone who isn't vaccinated should get one as soon as possible to be protected for the holidays. That includes children now that are 5 to 11 years old are eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. Fully vaccinated people can gather with others who have been fully vaccinated without restrictions. The indoor mandate for public settings remains in effect for Chicago and Illinois. While this applies in public settings, if you are gathering with people outside your immediate circle or with people who are medically fragile, you should consider wearing a mask. If you are not fully vaccinated, you should consider not attending gatherings over the holidays. If you plan to do so, we encourage you to take a COVID test before the gathering, as well as mask and social distance when possible. If you are sick or experiencing any COVID or flu-like symptoms, you should not attend any gatherings, even if you are vaccinated. Fully vaccinated people can travel for the holidays. Individuals who are not vaccinated should consider delaying travel until fully vaccinated. If traveling is a necessity, unvaccinated people should follow the Chicago Department of Public Health Travel Advisory Guidelines. These guidelines are in place to ensure safety among families during the holidays. Please do your part and encourage others to protect themselves and their loved ones by getting vaccinated. In Your Honor, I'd like to tell everyone to have a safe and great holiday season and Happy New Year, since we're not going to be here until January 10th. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, item 14, executive session. Pursuant to the general provisions of the Open Meetings Act, executive session 5 ILCS 120/2C1 Personnel Matters, C2 Collective Bargaining Matters, C5 Purchase or Lease of Property, C6 Sale or Lease of Property, C11 Pending Litigation, and C21 Discussion of Closed Session Minutes. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Are you going to adjourn from executive session?
Yes.
Announce that.
Okay. We will adjourn this meeting out of executive session, so we will not be back here to close this meeting. So, but do we have a motion on executive session? Trustee Solella? You have a second? Trustee Patrick? Clerk Konecki? Roll, please.
Okay, trustee Corkery,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Murphy,
Yeah.
trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Solella.
Yes.
President Kazal.
Yes. So we will be going into executive session, and we will adjourn out of there. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2022.